In the summer of 2019, a social media event goes live. It's called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us. The idea is that if enough people rush the facility's perimeter, someone could make it through and reveal once and for all what's hiding inside.
Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us, is a huge viral sensation. And what started as almost an internet joke turned into a serious national security issue.
Millions of people start responding and saying they're going or they're interested in going, to the point where the government is like, we have to do something about this. They, in fact, send reinforcements to Nevada to protect this site. There's personnel authorized to use deadly force if needed.
The hope was that Storm Area 51 would generate a very large crowd to overwhelm base security, and the numbers just didn't turn out.
The base has layers and layers of security, and everyone who is employed there sign non-disclosure agreements that are binding for life, and the penalties are severe.
The security perimeter around the facility is functionally impregnable. So you've got checkpoints, motion detectors, there are guard dogs, there's armed base security personnel. The area is constantly under the surveillance of satellites that are passing overhead.
The airspace over it is restricted. They call it the box. Even if you were a pilot at the nearby Nellis Air Force Base, you can't fly over.
It's the most secretive base in the United States, and it's been that way for over 70 years.
In the early 1950s, before there was anything called Area 51, just this thing called Groom Lake, which is a long, dry lake bed in the region. The closest town, Rachel, Nevada, very tiny, hardly anyone lives there.
It's believed that the base got its government name from an old Atomic Energy Commission map that designated the area as Grid 51.
To the public, it's still just Groom Lake. But in 1955, there's an obvious uptick in security.
People who live in the surrounding area start noticing some very strange things. Lights in the sky, aircraft that don't look like any aircraft that they recognize, flying 50,000 feet higher than the commercial aircraft of the time. No one knows of any aircraft around in the 1950s that can go that high in the air.
This is just on the heels of the 1947 Roswell incident, where in Roswell, New Mexico, an unidentified flying object crash-landed to the ground. Initially, the government says, we have found an unidentified flying object, and that immediately is switched to, it was a weather balloon. And when people sense a cover-up, speculation runs rampant. It put this idea of UFOs firmly in the minds of every American citizen. On May 15th, in 1989, on local Las Vegas news, a man gives an interview and claims that he worked at a secret military base near Area 51, known as S4, in southern Nevada, and it was his job specifically to reverse engineer anti-gravity propulsion systems from UFO technology.
So it was real obvious what was in the hangar. You could see about 3/4 of the edge of the craft. It was a typical flying saucer. It was, I say typical, I mean like anything you'd see in a cartoon.
According to Lazar, the United States Navy has possession of 9 alien spaceships, one of which Lazar was assigned to analyze at Area 51.
This is really major news. I mean, this blows up the conspiracy theories about Area 51. He says that we have had alien encounters, that what's being hidden there is not nuclear secrets, is not spy planes, but is, in fact, known alien technology.
According to Bob Lazar, his road to Area 51 began when he was working at Los Alamos, and he attended a lecture that was given by the father of the hydrogen bomb, Edward Teller. And Edward Teller then recommends that he get hired by this company, EG&G.
EG&G has been referred to as the most important defense contractor that you've never heard of. And according to Lazar, EG&G apparently has been, since the mid-50s, doing clandestine work at Area 51.
Upon being hired by EG&G to work at Area 51, Lazar realizes why his employer is so secretive.
Lazar is assigned to work at a location called S4, which is several miles from the main base. Lazar claims that at S4, the government has flying saucers, antimatter reactors, and other advanced technologies that nobody knows about. He says that his main job at S4 was to reverse engineer one of the anti-gravity propulsion technologies from this alien aircraft.
Bob explains that this technology is actually operational, but nobody understands how it works. And in fact, he says he was given a manual for one of these ships that includes images of aliens, which he understands to be the pilots of these ships.
Human hands did not put this together. The technology was far beyond anything that we had.
Lazar is purportedly so blown away by what he's seeing at work, he can no longer keep it a secret.
Lazar tells his friend and his wife about this, and he says that there is one particular location where if you climb up this mountain, you can see onto Area 51 airspace, you can see where these tests of flying saucers are taking place.
Eventually, he's caught, he's fired, and he is told never to come back. And after this, he begins to suspect that maybe he's being followed. He says his tires are slashed, he says that people are tracking him, and that's when he decides it's time to go public.
Information soon surfaces, calling Lazar's credibility into question.
EG&G claims that they don't have any record of Lazar ever working for the company. He also claims to have attended MIT, and they claim that they don't have any record of him ever attending. Los Alamos also says that Lazar never worked there, but local reporters dig up an old phone book from Los Alamos, and Lazar's name is inside, so they think that's proof that Lazar did in fact work at Los Alamos.
Now, according to Lazar, this is all part of the government cover-up. They go in and they clear out any reference of him so that it looks like he's been lying.
There are die-hard Lazar supporters who believe he is absolutely telling the truth, that the campaign against him is a smear campaign, he's being erased from history, that he did work at Los Alamos, he did attend MIT, and there's others who believe that he's a fraud, that he is making all of this up, that all of this is simply a pack of lies.
But Lazar's testimony is not the only case of an alleged insider claiming there are secrets hidden within Area 51.
Bob Lazar, however, was not the only person to come forward and talk about his time spent at Area 51. In 2011, in Annie Jacobson's book, she interviews an unnamed source who says that he was one of 5 engineers also contracted by EG&G and sent to Area 51. This unnamed engineer's claims are incredibly similar to Bob Lazar's claims for what's going on at Area 51.
Annie Jacobson's source, his duties, trying to figure out the propulsion system, trying to reverse engineer it, sound very similar to Bob Lazar's duties. Also, the name of the facility, Sigma 4 or S4, and that's exactly what Bob Lazar said